Hello there. Welcome to Self-Equip. My name's Zach. We're going to do a video today on AA flashlights. What's the best budget AA flashlight is the primary question that I know tens and tens of viewers want to know. So I have 8 of them that I thought were good candidates. Feel free to yell at me all you want and say, why didn't you include this one, Zach? Well, I didn't know about it probably. Or I'm dumb. Who knows? But we're going to test these 8, and that's pretty much it. I hope you like the video. You might recognize this guy from one of my last videos. It is the reason why we're doing this, to find out which one the best is. And yeah, enjoy. We're going to start here on the left. This is the Acebeam Tac AA. I personally love this light. It is the thrower of the bunch, and obviously it's the largest out of all of them. Being the largest, I mean, it's only 4.11 inches long, so that's, to some massive, to others not so much, but kind of depends on your opinion on that, I guess. All I can say about it is it does fit well in my pocket. I'm a slightly above average person, 6'1", like 220, 215 depending on the day, and it fits well in my pocket when I'm wearing jeans, and it works well. That's a great light. I really love that one. Moving on to the next one. This is the Vtiger, total unknown to me, Vtiger T1A. It's pretty cool, actually. I was very pleasantly surprised with this one. I like the pocket clip on it. It's super big and robust, and I like that it has a magnetic tail click, and it's got some really good light that it throws out. So I was really impressed with this one as a total unknown that I just randomly found on Amazon. So that one's pretty cool. And moving on from that, another complete unknown was this S21 AA from Tuning, is what I'm calling them. Total unknown company once again. I'm pretty sure you can't even buy this light anymore, but I'm not 100%. And also I'm pretty sure I got it for $10, but now it's saying they're like $22, but now it's saying it's a different company. This one was wild. Again, total unknown on Amazon, but my goodness, it throws out a lot of light for a long time, and it came with a 1000 milliamp hour battery, which is actually, you'll see later in testing, actually did a little bit more than 1000 milliamp hours, so that was pretty cool. Moving on to the next one, we have our first Thrunite of the bunch. This is the Thrunite Archer Pro. The first version. There is now an Archer Pro 2. The differences, I can kind of put those on the screen as well, but basically the differences are the Archer Pro 2, so the newer one, has better throw and slightly less slightly less lumens, whereas this one has higher lumens. It's like 1022 and slightly lower throw, probably like 50 meters less, I believe. I've had this light for a long time. I use this light at work. I actually recommend it to other people at work because I think it's great. It goes on my bandolier when I'm on the fire truck for my radio, and it's a really good light. It can be super bright. It also has a nice color temperature to it. It's got the 5000K instead of that 6500, like kind of bright white. So for those reasons, I really like that one. Moving on to our second Thrunite, which is the Thrunite Saber. That's a popular one. That one was cool because it's only like $12, and I believe you can get a 2-pack for $20. It's a great little light for sure, and the thing I appreciate about it is it runs a long time for a very low price, and it's a great construction. I'm definitely excited to put it through its paces and see how well it holds up. Moving on from the Saber, we go to the Pioocan, is how I'm going to pronounce it. I believe that's what it's pronounced as. I have no idea. It's Pioocan L2 is the model. Again, a total unknown on Amazon for this one. Found it and thought, hey, what the heck, why not? It does put out a good amount of light. It's a kind of a thick boy. compared to some of the other ones, but not so much that you're gonna notice it like crazy. But it does stick up. You can see with the pocket clip, it sticks up like crazy high when you're trying to carry it in your jeans, which is not ideal. I wish they'd put this pocket clip up here, and it would have been great. Just unfortunate design flaw. But anyways, not a bad light, pretty solid. And moving on from that, the beloved Tool AA. A lot of people like this light. It's a good solid little light. It's definitely a well-known one. I think it's underpowered compared to some of the others. It only has, what, 650 lumens compared to a lot of these others have 1,000 plus on a lot of the other ones, including this little guy next to it has 1,000. So I wish it had more lumens. I'm pretty sure there's a heavy modding community for this light, and that a lot of people will mod them with better emitters so you can get better throw and better blah blah blah, you know, and you can put better batteries in them and whatnot. That's the one thing that I do not like about it, is it was what, 20 something dollars, $21, $22 I think, and $23, sorry, and it doesn't come with a battery. I have a 1,000 milliamp hour Vapcell H1, whatever the heck it is. I'll put it on the screen because I don't remember what it's called exactly. It's a really good battery, super high output, but I just happen to have one of those. Not every person's going to have a 14500 battery sitting around their house, depending on who you are. But that was a bummer. I wish it came with a battery. Lumintop, fix that, because your GTA, which is a great light, which I might do a video on, it's a good little pocket thrower for like 35 bucks, and it comes with a great 14500 battery. Just put that in this light. Anyways, off my soapbox. Moving on to our last Thrunite, which is the TI Pro, the smallest little guy of the bunch. It impressed me actually quite a bit. And there were things that I was like, oh man, I wish it had this, and then by the end of it I was like, oh, never mind. Like a button press on the back. I really like that because I like tactical lights, but with its size and my relatively large hands, or XL gloves, I would have to do this every time I turn it on, which would be an absolute pain because I want the light to not be sucked into my hand, and that would just cover the light up completely if I was to actually be able to use it. So it's the only turner of the bunch where you have to turn it on, but surprisingly throws out a really good amount of light for how small it is. Definitely would recommend for like a keychain light, backpack light, something you want to throw in your car, like a center console or something like that, because it's so small, it takes up no weight. It's really awesome, and it really surprised me. We're gonna move into some testing and showing you guys the beam patterns on all these guys, and then showing you how well it's lighting up an area or throwing the light downrange. So let's get to that. Out here we're gonna start small with the Thrunite TI Pro. This is its lowest setting. There's the medium. Well, I'm sorry. There's the high. So on the high setting, so you can just barely see those trees there, and then there's trees in the background. Past that light pole, you'll see them on the left once we have something with a little more candela, but those are about 100 yards away. So this is on high, but as you can see, it's a pretty good amount of light. I mean, it'll light up this whole shed and this whole area and the whole side of the house. So that is the TI Pro. This is the Lumintop Tool. Oop. I always forget I turned that one so that stupid backlight isn't on. So that is on high right there. There's its low Firefly right there. Medium and high, or turbo mode is what they call it. But it definitely has a good spill. I'm pointing it straight on, pretty much right level with the camera, and it's lighting up both the house and the shed, and lights up into the car pretty well. The car is probably 20 feet away, You can just see those trees in the background. All right, moving on from that, we're going to go to the Thrunite Saber. So as you can see, it just has the 2 modes, so that like a low and a high. But with the high mode, you're starting to get those trees in the back. You can really see those trees there. But this is straight on right at the car. Definitely can see less of the shed in the house, but still pretty good. I apologize if I sound a little stuffy. I've been a little sick. Moving on from the Saber, let's go to the Pioocan. I believe that is on the high. This one, hopefully you can pick it up with the camera, but I can start to really see those trees in the background. This one has some pretty good candela, actually. I don't know if you can tell on the camera. This I'm pointing right at the car, and it's got a good spill, but it does have some rings in it, which you should have seen when I filmed the beam patterns on the garage. But yeah, this is solid. This is the S21. So that's the low. Sorry, that's the low. And then there's a strobe mode, and there's your high. So again, this one I can, when I'm looking at it in person, I can see those back trees probably about as well as the Pioocan. And definitely these front ones right here I can see. That's straight at the car. Definitely has a very good spill. And like I said, in testing, this one lasted a very long time, which you'll see in the runtime test coming up. But yeah, I'm happy with the light that it produces, but not so much with the interface, I guess. Next, this is the Archer Pro. So Thrunite Archer Pro. This is the low mode. So with this one, it has ramping up. So I'll ramp it all the way up to the highest. And a double tap is turbo. So I'm still getting those trees a little bit, but you can see it's more of a daylight white. It's 5000K, which is really nice. Like I said, this is the one I use for work, and it's super nice. It's got a really good spill. Not a super defined hotspot, but it can still throw pretty decently far. I don't really need it to do any more than that at work. Moving on to the Vtiger. This one is pretty bright. Definitely looks a little bit cooler than some of the others, maybe. But it does have a very good, there's low, medium, and high. That high definitely lights those trees up. Let me let this car go by so you can really see where it's hitting. There we go. Yeah, you can definitely see those trees in the background. You can definitely light this one up right here. It does a really good job. Has a very bright light and a pretty decent throw. Again, has some rings that you'll see in the other test. And finally, last but not least, my favorite, because it likes to throw light super far, the Acebeam. As you can see, I am now letting those trees, the far trees, this is that close one, which is super bright, and those are those far trees. And this is right into the car. So definitely less spill than the others, significantly. There's a drain right down here that you guys can't see, and when this is pointed straight at the car, pretty much none of the light is hitting that drain, whereas most of the other ones has light hitting the drain. So, but I can see all the way into the back of this car. Like I said, 20 feet away from me, so if I'm walking up on a car or something like that, I can look right through the windshield. I'm sure it would pierce through tinted windows and whatnot. So yeah, this one is awesome as far as candela goes. So that is all of the lights out here, and we're going to take this to the sketchy shed and show you guys what it looks like when they light up a room. Alright, so we're at the shed. So starting again with the TI Pro. That's its low mode. And that's the high. I think that was the medium. Yeah, there's the Firefly, medium and high. But yeah, on high, this is plenty of light. Really impressed for something this small. But I mean, it is the same battery as everything else. They just did it in a really compact package. But it is that turn style. So you do have to use two hands. I can do it with one hand. This is with one hand, so I can do it with one hand. It's just easier with two. But there you go, lots of light from the TI Pro. Moving on to the, oh, what do I have here? I have the S21 randomly. Sorry, I'm a little out of order, but I am carrying 8 flashlights with me. Boom. Lots of light coming from the S21. Like I said so many times, great light comes from this and lots of light for a long time. Just the interface is annoying. We have the Tool AA. There it is on its highest setting. Tons of light, really good flood on the Tool AA. I'm holding all of these flashlights in the same exact location, but this lights up this entire shed. I mean, I can see everything and pretty much every corner of it, which is awesome. So this is great. I'll show you the low, medium, high, and then turbo. So yeah, that's the Tool AA. Really great spill. Thrunite Saber, that's mode 1. Whoops. And there's the second mode. Again, lots of good light, a little bit more focused on this one than the Tool. And maybe a slightly warmer temperature, but I mean, they kind of all say 6,500 except I think 2 of them. But you can see on the camera, it's pretty focused. Definitely doesn't light everything up like the Tool did. But yeah, still solid. And there's that low mode again for you, low and high. Moving on from that, we're going to the Pioocan. So there is, I think that's a medium. I believe that's high right there. Yep, it is. That's your Firefly, or low. That's your medium, and that's your high. This does a really good job. It has a very good spill. It's definitely lighting everything up, and it has that pretty defined hotspot, as you can see, but on the lawnmower and on the bike. But yeah, this one does a good job. Let's move on to the Archer. So immediately, I don't know if you can tell, but I can definitely tell. You can just see the warmer color temperature. Just gives things a truer color, which is really cool. And this thing definitely has a really good flood. This is very spilly, which is really nice. Like I said, this one I use on the job, and it works really well. Has been tested for many months. But yeah, it does have a little bit of a spot, but I'll let you guys watch it ramp up and down. So there it's going all the way down to its Firefly. It blinks 3 times, and then it goes back up, and then it will blink again, and that's how you know you're on high, and the double tap for that turbo. Moving on to the Vtiger, you can immediately tell the color difference, color temperature difference. There's that turbo mode right there. Definitely a pretty decent spill. The hotspot's not super concentrated, but you still get a lot of good throw out of this guy, and good light, but definitely a more bright white color. Yeah, very good. On to the Acebeam Tac AA. There you can really see that super bright hotspot because it has way more candela than anything else in this class. But definitely less spill. This cabinet right here, if you guys have been watching, when I point it straight back, it'll light up with a lot of the other ones, and you barely get a corner of it with this. But if you're looking for something specific and you want to be very target focused with something like this, this is going to be really good for that. Good target identification, stuff like that, especially with far away stuff, obviously. There's the low, the medium, high, and that's the turbo. And that's it. That's all of them. So we'll move on to some testing now. Okay, here we've got the runtime tests. Sorry about my timer in advance. It only goes up to 100 minutes and then it resets. So if you're keeping track on the timer, just be aware of that. I'm going to throw up each time and what light it is that poops out first, which is the Acebeam coming up here. So it pretty much throws out all of its light and then just stops. It did kind of turn back on a little bit when I tried to click it back on, but then it just turned right back off. Then you'll see the Pioocan went out at 1 hour and 27 minutes. Still pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with the Pioocan overall. I believe next is the Vtiger. That one's coming out here in a few minutes. Yep, Vtiger at 2 hours and 15 minutes, which that's pretty good. Again, all of these are running on a 14500 battery. And then you get the Thrunite Archer Pro. That one I had to film up there at a separate day. That was 2 hours and 31 minutes. I just forgot it at work. Like I said, I use that one for work quite a bit. But these last 4 lights did a really good job. As you can see, the Thrunite, all of the Thrunites actually did this. The Thrunite Saber and the Thrunite TI Pro are now both blinking. They do that when they get to a certain point, and they're basically just saying, hey, I have low battery, and I don't know if that helps save just a little bit of time. Probably does. Either way, they blink a little bit, but the S21 and the Lumintop went forever. And the other 2 were still going, but they ended up dying, I think, around 6 hours, but I stopped after 5 hours and 15 minutes because it was a lot. But that tuning S21 really puts out a decent amount of light. Speaking about the amount of light they're putting out, this is the beam patterns for each of the lights, and as you can see, some of them have slightly different colors and all that. You can really tell with the Thrunite Archer Pro. It definitely has that warmer color temperature, and then a little bit of green with that the Saber. But here is all the battery, milliamp hours, and how long it took to charge them. So this is a good place to pause if you're interested in all that information. This definitely has some good stuff in it. Alright, to start the torture testing, we're going to do about 20 minutes in 6 inches of water. I love and hate this part. Some of these I have very little faith in, but we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to start this timer, and then you'll see a hyperlapse video of it, the 20 minutes, and then I'll pull them out. I'm going to turn all of these on low mode before I throw them in, and we'll see if they're still on when we take them out, and then we'll test them a little bit to make sure they all work after they come out, and we'll move on to drop testing. So I'm going to turn these on real quick. Okay, they're all on, as you can see, and here we go. They are all still, the Thrunite TI got a little extra, but they are all still on. So we're going to move on. I'm going to check these guys out, make sure the battery's still charged, there's no stuff in the lenses and all that, and I'll get back to you with a report here in just a second. I am pleased to announce that they all survived just fine. They all go into every mode that they're supposed to go into. They all turn on. All of their batteries charge. There was no moisture in either the lens or in the body of any of them. The one I was most worried about was the S21 because of this silly design they have where, let me try and get up close to show you guys here. I'll have my camera focus on it. But basically this just spins. There's no gasket or anything, and the charging port is right there. Come on, camera. Sorry, the charging port is right there, and essentially this just spins, which is ridiculous. That's kind of insane. Tungen, I don't know, I guess that's the brand name. Fix that if you can, and this thing would be a lot better, and I wouldn't be so weary. When I was putting it in the water, I thought for sure it wouldn't charge, it would get water in that charging port, but it didn't, so I guess it works, I don't know. But I also had it completely this way instead of where it can just spin and be sitting right where the charging port is.
So just know that if you're looking into buying this one. Now I'm going to do my drop test. So how I do my drop test is there is a concrete pad below me, which you will see in just a second. I'm going to drop them 2 different ways, straight down like this and on its side like this, from waist height, well there's one, head height, and then from my roof, which is 12 feet up there, 12 to 15 feet. I haven't measured it exactly, but either way, that's the drop test. And yeah, let's get right into that. All right, here's the Tuning S21 first drop on the head. And it turned on. These are all starting off, and I will check them afterwards. Here's the Thrunite Saber, the Pioocan L2, Lumintop Tool, Thrunite Archer Pro, Thrunite TI PRO, the Vtiger T1A, and finally the Acebeam Tac AA. Well, I have sad news. The Thrunite Saber is dead. Shocking. Actually, I'm really shocked and disappointed because I really liked it. But it dropped that one time that I just did, and after the first drop, you can see there's a little mark right here. See if I can get it to focus on it. Little mark right on the front there, and nothing. So I did a few things. I swapped batteries with other flashlights that I knew were working, which all the other ones are, and they didn't work in here. I swapped the battery that was in this Thrunite into another Thrunite just because same battery, and it worked totally fine. So it's not a battery issue, it is a light itself issue. Anyways, on to the next drop. All right, waist high drop with the S21 on its side. The Acebeam Tac AA, Thrunite Archer Pro, the Vtiger Lumintop Tool, Pioocan L2, and the Thrunite TI PRO. Head height drop from the S21. Head height drop with the Tac AA. Head height drop with the Pioocan L2. Head height drop with the Thrunite TI Pro. Head height drop with the Vtiger. Head height drop with the Archer Pro. Head height drop with the Lumintop Tool. I'm going to do the Archer one more time. Head height drop with the Archer. This is the S21 from head height. The Tac AA from head height. Archer TI Pro head height. The Vtiger head height. TI Pro Thrunite from head height. The Lumintop Tool from head height. The Pioocan L2 from head height. Here we go. Woo! The Lumintop Tool. Pioocan. The S21. The Vtiger. Acebeam Tac AA. And the Archer Pro. Okay, after the 15-foot drop test from the roof, we had one final fatality. That was the Thrunite TI Pro, the little guy. So this was the first one I dropped, and I didn't think anything of it, and I go down, try and turn it on, won't turn on. I did everything I did with the Thrunite Saber. I tested everything. I tested different batteries, and then I tested this battery in different lights, and the battery won't even work or charge. So Thrunite TI Pro is completely dead and out of the running, but it fought a good fight, and I still think that's a very rare circumstance that you're going to be dropping a flashlight from 15 feet. But if you're a roofer or if you work in high places, it's a possibility, I suppose. Anyways, all of the other remaining 6 lights, let me get the Saber out of here because it died. So all the remaining 6 lights, as I drop other ones, I caught them, don't worry, they all survived, and I'm impressed with each one of them in different ways. It's time to hand out some awards. So my best in class, best overall, my pick personally, is the Acebeam Tac AA. I really love this light. Again, I think I came into it partial because I already owned it. I did a video on it, and I really liked it. It is a tactical light for sure. It doesn't have that big spill if that's what you're looking for. And I'm going to go with my runner-up or my second place. It was kind of a hard pick because a lot of these did really well, but I ended up going with the Vtiger as my second pick. So I really like this light. It's $17 and you can get it in a couple different colors. It held up really well on all the tests, and I don't know, there's something about it. It's really slim, but it does a really good job. It has a decent throw, it has a good amount of spill, it has kind of everything you'd want, and it sits in the pocket really well with that deep pocket. I'm going to drop all of these at some point, sorry. But it sits really well in the pocket, at least in mine. You can barely feel it in there. So yeah, those are my 2 picks. Not to say that the other ones are bad, except for this, the S21. I'm not saying it's bad. My nitpicks were obviously that weird charging port thing, and then what I didn't show you guys, what I promised to show you, was this back. Let me get up and nice close and personal. The back of this light here rotates. So when I try and press it, it presses, but if you rotate it at all when you press it, now it won't depress all the way, and it does really weird stuff. So that is locked, so you don't accidentally turn it on in your pocket, but then you rotate it just a little bit more and it is, and sometimes you go to click it and it just won't click. So those are the issues I had with the S21. Other than that, it ran forever, which is really cool, and it had a battery that was like almost 1200 milliamp hours, and coming from quote unquote the factory with that is pretty cool. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Please let me know if you guys liked the video. Please like, subscribe, do the YouTube stuff. It just helps me continue this channel, and like I said, I really love doing it, and that's why I'm here. But I hope you enjoyed it, and please join me for the next one. See ya.